All right, hey everybody, happy No King's Day. No wonder you guys can do better than that. We're about to make history around here. All right. Hi everyone, my name is Hannah Stoss. I'm a senior organizer with both 5051 New York City and Strong Economy for All Coalition, and I'm honored to be up here representing the coalition that made today possible. The New York No Kings Coalition and nationally is committed to nonviolence. And we protest because we love the ideals that this country is founded on. Ideals that we have never lived up to quite yet. The New York City March is endorsed by over 50 organizations, and we come from all different beliefs, we come from all different walks of life. We don't agree on everything, but we do agree that we need to protect our country from rising authoritarianism. We're committed to a movement that is diverse and beautiful and joyful and rooted in community. And let's be clear, this is just the start of that movement. When the federal agents took to the streets of our cities, enabling ICE to terrorize Black and brown communities, the idea of hands-off NYC was born. Since then, over 100 groups have joined together in solidarity, pledging to protect our city from federal intervention. To the cities facing federal occupation, we stand with you, and we stand together. Go to handsoffnyc.com to get more involved after the march and figure out what's next, because it does not end here. When I thought about what I wanted to say today, I decided I wanted to tell you all that I'm scared. I'm 25 years old as of today, and my entire political life has been shaped by this administration. In the past few years, I've had the privilege of organizing among some of the most courageous leaders in New York City and nationwide, and we all feel it. We're overwhelmed, we're exhausted, but we keep showing up. We keep showing up and we keep being courageous, and that's what we need from every single person attending today. Not just on October 18th, but after that as well. Real power and real bravery is me and you showing up, getting connected, and pushing past the voice in our head that says we're not qualified, or we're not brave enough, or we can't do it, because we can. They want you to think we can't do it, but we stand here today because we know that we can. So today, millions across the country are going to stand up and say that in America, we don't do cakes. Now, I'd like to introduce our first speaker, a fierce advocate and a dear friend of mine, the president and CEO of the New York Immigration Coalition, Murad Awawdeh.
Thank you, Hannah, and happy birthday. When our communities are under attack, what do we do? When our communities are under attack, what do we do? When immigrants are under attack, what do we do? Good morning. My name is Murad Awawdeh. I'm the president and CEO of the New York Immigration Coalition. It is our pleasure and honor to stand here in coalition with all of our partners who have made today possible. Nobody needs to wonder, what would America look like under an authoritarian takeover? If the military was turned against us, if judges and elected officials were arrested by the federal government, if roving gangs of masked, unidentified federal officers were rounding people up and disappearing them. Authoritarianism and fascism is here today in America. And it is critical that every New Yorker and every single person who calls this country home stands up and fights back. We must stand up for every New Yorker. That includes our immigrant neighbors. We must stand up and organize our communities. In this moment, we're seeing what's happening, and what started in LA has made a roving appearance in Illinois now, what's happening in Memphis and Oregon, and what is happening in Washington, D.C. And the courage and bravery of Americans standing up and fighting back is what is going to save our democracy. In this moment, we're seeing right here in New York City, where people go to seek justice, being faced with injustice in immigration court where mass agents are snatching people showing up to fight for their ability to stay here. You often hear the rhetoric of do it the right way. If going to court and following the process to the letter of the law is not the right way, then I don't know what is. And people are still being disappeared in that moment. As we gear up to continue to fight against fascism in this country, we know that this administration is going to continue to escalate against our communities. And that is why it is important that we document everything. That is why it is important we stand up for one another. And that is why it's important that we also volunteer and make sure that we are standing up organized in a way in which we are helping the most people possible. For those who are interested in supporting the work we are doing at the NYIC, visit our website, nyc.org/volunteer to sign up. The one essential thing that Albany can do for New Yorkers is pass the New York for All Act and make it clear that the state of New York is not going to collude in harming New Yorkers, separating families, gutting our communities and economy, and making sure we take a strong stance against this administration's efforts to undermine everything we believe in and all of our New York values. Democracy is up for grabs. It is up to us to save it. Thank you.
Thank you, and for all the work that the New York Immigration Coalition does. Up next, we have another fierce advocate fighting for us, our New York City Comptroller, Brad Lander.
Good morning, I'm New York City Comptroller Brad Lander, and they told me the incredible Charlotte Soner was up next, or I wouldn't have shouted out, that's right. 250 years ago, next year, the founders brought forth on this land a new nation, conceived in liberty, and dedicated to the idea that all are created equal. They would not abide kings or tyrants. They would not abide troops sent to occupy their cities without their consent. They would not abide their neighbors being abducted without due process. They would not abide the criminal justice system being turned into the tyrant's plaything to punish opponents and to pardon friends and family. They would not abide taxation without representation, where the government takes the tax dollars but does not send it back to provide services and infrastructure. Every one of those things was happening then. Every one of those things is happening right now. And that's why we are out here to say, no kings, any time. No kings, any time. No kings, 85. New York City has played a critical role in that fight for liberty, and we have a critical role to play right now. Just 6 weeks after those founders signed the Declaration of Independence in Philadelphia, King George sent 30,000 troops to occupy New York City, 3 times the size of the Continental Army. But New Yorkers fought back in the Battle of Brooklyn, what George Washington called an hour more precious to liberty than any other, and they preserved the young republic that we are lucky to steward today. And New Yorkers have a critical role to play right at this moment. We wake up every day with that copper-plated statue in the harbor, reminding us what it means to be a New Yorker, reminding us what it means to be Americans. that we welcome people here, that we include them, that we stand with them, that we protect them, whether they're immigrants or whether they're trans or whether they're black or Jewish or Muslim. That's what it means to be a New Yorker. It's what it means to be an American. We stand up for liberty and against tyranny. We want no kings any time. And that is why we are standing up at 26 Federal Plaza and saying, no way you were going to abduct our neighbors without due process, without us standing up. Thank you, Murad and New York Immigration Coalition and Charlotte and everybody who is leading the way in that fight. That's why we're out in the streets today with millions of Americans across the country to say no kings. And that is why we will be out time and time again to say no kings any time. Look, it is going to get harder in the days to come. We know that troops will be sent to this city, but we are not backing down. I've already been arrested twice by ICE, and I'll take as many more times as it comes. We're going to do it with joy as well. In Portland, that seems to mean cartoon frogs and naked bike rides. I'm thinking here something more like outdoor dining against Trump. But make no mistake, we will do it with steel backbones, with a resolute insistence, with clear commitment against tyranny and for liberty, that this country will have a new birth of freedom and the government of the people, by the people, and for the people shall not perish from this earth. No kings anytime. No kings anytime. No kings anytime. See you out in the streets.
I thank you to Brad for standing with us again and again at protests like these and for advocating for us from the, halls of the city. Up next, we have a pairing of the executive director of the New York Civil Liberties Union, one of the leading voices fighting for us these days, Donna Lieberman, and Christine Latte, an actress and activist who's using her voice today to say no kings.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
The New York Civil Liberties Union is proud to stand with hundreds of thousands of New Yorkers and millions more across the country to say no kings. No kings in blue cities. No kings in red cities. No kings in Washington, D.C. or Portland or Chicago or Memphis. No kings in New York City. No kings, period. Ours is a government based on rights and laws. A government by and for the people, and for equal justice for all. And no one is above the law. We will not be bullied into silence. We will not stand by and let the president who would be king commandeer the full force of our federal government to demonize and bully and lie about our communities, to separate families and terrorize immigrants and citizens alike. We will not stand by as he unlawfully calls out the National Guard to turn our cities into occupied territories. We will not stand by and let them normalize a regime of secret police, ICE agents behaving like foes, unaccountable, ununiformed, hiding behind masks in order to do their abuse and dirty work. We will not stand by and let them wreak havoc on our courts, our schools, our universities, which are the foundations of our democracy. And we will not stand by and let the racist in chief turn back the clock on equal rights for Black people, Latinos, for women, for the LGBTQ and immigrant communities. We will not stand by and let them hijack our democracy. No kings! No kings! No kings! I am so proud that my organization, the ACLU, has filed nearly 200 legal actions to defend free speech, due process, equal rights, and the rule of law. And we've trained thousands, tens of thousands of people to know their rights. We work with legislators at the state and local level to build a firewall for freedom. And we in New York has the strongest state equal rights amendment in the nation. We're in the streets today, and millions strong, and we'll figure with people of every race, gender, national origin again, and again, as long as it takes to protect our democracy. The people united will never be defeated. The people united will never be defeated. Hands off our immigrants. Hands off our immigrants. Hands off our health care. Hands off our health care. Hands off our university. Hands off our university. Hands off science. Hands off science. Hands off our freedom of speech. Hands off our freedom of speech. Hands off our journalists. Hands off our journalists. Hands off our right to protest. Hands off our right to protest. And hands off our kids, their parents, and their schools. Hands off. Hands off. Hands off our democracy. Hands off our democracy. And keep your troops, your fear-mongering, your prejudices against Black people, Latinos, women, LGBTQ people. Keep your prejudices and hate out of New York. No kings. No kings. No kings. No kings. No kings. No kings.
Let's go to guys. Please.
Hello, everyone. Hello. I am so grateful to be here today in solidarity with the millions of people across this country and around the world who are peacefully, passionately, and joyfully showing up for our democracy. I have been marching since the early 70s, yes, I am that old, against the Vietnam War, for civil rights, for women's rights. And every time for those marches, they tried to scare us away. But this time, they really tried, because that's exactly what Trump wants. He wants us to be afraid, to stay silent, to stay home. But guess what? We're not backing down. We refuse to let fear and hatred win, because we love our country, we cherish our democracy, and we will never remain silent in the face of a wannabe king who is doing the most unpatriotic thing by ripping up our Constitution in front of our very eyes. We are peaceful patriots, millions of us, united by love and respect for each other and for our Constitution. We will fight their hatred, division, and fear with love, joy, and inclusion. We rise up today to remind Trump and his allies, America does not do kings. We all know about Trump stuff, but what is important is what we, the people, are going to do about it. They can't silence us. And when we speak up, when we show up, we can make change. We are unafraid, and we are speaking up for our fundamental freedoms because America belongs to its people. We will never do dictators. And as America-loving patriots, we will always fight for, as the last line in our Pledge of Allegiance states, liberty and justice for all. Remember our Pledge of Allegiance, Trump? Can we sing it loud so he can hear us? Liberty and justice for all. One more time. Liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you both. Up next, we are honored to have Maurice Mitchell with us. He is the National Director of the Working Families Party.
Thank you so much. My name is Maurice Mitchell, National Director of the Working Families Party. At the Working Families Party, we believe in this crazy idea that in a democracy, the people should lead, not oligarchs, not tyrants, not wannabe kings, the people. That's what we believe. And we're here today joined with not just the hundreds of organizations and the tens of thousands of people that will be out here in New York, but the millions of people all over the country that are going to come together from places like New York and big cities like New York and LA, but also Greeley, Colorado, Wilmington, Delaware. This is a truly grassroots movement of all folks coming together to say in the loudest, clearest voice, no kings. And why are we here? Well, we know, and we've heard from other speakers, what Donald Trump, MAGA, what his administration is doing, the terrible tyranny they're attempting to rain down on our cities, and the fear and terror that they want to stoke. But I'm here to say I am unafraid. We are unafraid because we know that our courage is contagious and that kings and wannabe dictators, they could only win when the people actually believe the lie that the fear that they stoke is real. It's a confidence game. He's the biggest con man. And today we're going to call his con. On the streets of this country, in the streets of New York, we're going to call his con through our righteous anger, our righteous clarity, our joy, our organizing. Today we rally. Tomorrow we organize. In November we vote. In 2026 we build a mighty movement, the largest, most diverse, most leaderful grassroots movement for change and democracy this country has ever seen. New York, are you with us? Are you with us? Are you ready to organize? Are you ready to march? Are you ready to protest? In November, are you ready to vote? Let's go, let's do it. No kings.
Hey, thank you so much. And I'll say it again. Today we protest and tomorrow we organize. Thank you for that reminder. Up next, we have the Executive Vice President of the American Federation of Teachers, Evelyn De Jesus.
Good morning, buenos dias to you! I'm Evelyn De Jesus, and it's my honor to be here today, and I serve as the Executive Vice President of AFT, the American Federation of Teachers. 1.8 million are present today, and we represent healthcare, education, and public service. I also have the honor of being the National President of LACLA, which is all the unions, all Latinos together. So we're here presente. No kids, no matter what anyone says today, because there's a lot of liars out there. There's a lot of telltales out there. Today is a peaceful demonstration. Are you with me? Yes. No Kings is a peaceful movement of millions of Americans from all walks of life rising up to make one thing clear. We don't want dictators or kings in America, and we will never have it. We're organizing to defend our democracy, protect each other and our community. And we say enough is enough. Basta ya. To the Trump administration's cruel and chaotic abuse of power. Millions took the streets in June, and we're doing it today again. Millions of people are coming together. They are fed up. Prices is too high. They can't pay their bills, and people are just fed up with an authoritarian regime that's forgotten who they serve. They serve the people of America. And to stand together in the belief that America belongs to the people, not to kings, not to billionaires, and not to wannabe dictators. This movement is about ensuring the power always remains where it belongs, with us, the people. Despite the right-wing message today calling this rally a hate America's rally, today's march is peaceful. It's a peaceful day,
of unity and resolve, in the spirit of the June 14 No Kings action, but only much larger. There is nothing more American than protests. Authoritarians always fear organized people. It is why they lie about the opposition. We are parents, we are veterans, we are faith leaders and workers standing together shoulder to shoulder for democracy. They want chaos, we bring coordinated and peaceful dissent. That's what they fear. President Trump is deploying our own military. My father served in the Korean War, my brother served in the Vietnam War, my nephews have served over in the Army, and I'm proud that they're military, but this is not what we signed up for. And has mass ICE agents to try to strike fear into his own people. This is dangerous and it's un-American, which is exactly why we're showing up today. He wants us to be scared, as many of us have said, but we refuse. Fear is a tool of authoritarianism. Courage and solidarity are the tools of democracy. Estamos aquí para defender nuestra democracia, para decir basta ya. No queremos dictadores, no queremos reyes, no queremos trono y no queremos corona. Queremos paz, equidad y un país justo para todos. Because this is what democracy looks like. Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. And up next, I'm excited to introduce Charlotte Sonar for Resources, Opportunity, Connection, Unity, New York City, on behalf of the Tain Trans Immigrant New Yorker, and Jose. Good morning, everyone. My name is Charlotte Sonar, and I'm with Rock NYC. It's a privilege to be here this morning with such an amazing lineup of speakers. I'm here to talk about Shakira, a beloved community member who was kidnapped in September. Shakira is a trans asylum seeker from Venezuela. A few weeks ago, after leaving her routine immigration court appearance down at 26 Federal Plaza, Shakira was detained by mass ICE agents without a judicial warrant. Currently, Shakira is being held in solitary confinement in a male detention center in Louisiana.
Shame.
Today and every day, I stand in solidarity with Shakira and the countless thousands of our immigrant neighbors who are currently rotting in for-profit detention centers, like New York City public high school students, like Dylan Lopez and Mamadou Mukhtar, who've been unjustly arrested by ICE as the Department of Homeland Security is ignoring the existing rulebook of immigration policy and unleashing cruelty beyond belief against our communities. Shakira's arrest is part of a broader effort by the Trump administration to destroy communities and disappear our immigrant neighbors. It's also part of a broader effort to intimidate, silence, and strip basic rights away from trans folks throughout the country. From my many months at immigration court, I can tell you that ICE is cruelly and intentionally singling out trans respondents for arrests. And the reports of abuse against trans detainees are harrowing. This looks like ethnic cleansing to reshape our society for the administration's hateful and white supremacist ideology. I ask you all to remember Shakira's name and Shakira's story, and to continue fighting against the fascist tactics of the administration. Do not be silent and complacent in the face of these horrors. I'm now going to let my dear friend, Jose, and Shakira's dear friend say some words about her.
Gracias a todos por estar aquí. Thank you everyone for coming. I was there when Shakira was arrested. And the void that she left, not only to me, but to all her friends, to all the people I knew or know her, there's no words. And what can stay here, speaking about the void and speaking about the trauma, but choose today to speak about Shakira. I'm sure that some of you would love. But it's so difficult to represent someone, to speak on behalf of someone. So Shakira and I prepare something that she wants you to know. I came seeking protection from the darkness I survived in my past. I saw many people afraid, saying, "Don't show up to your court hearing." But I didn't think it twice because I had nothing to hide. Sometimes I ask God why He made me like this, with such a difficult life, without the support from a family, without the support from society. But I am who I am. And what has kept me going all this time has been the determination for being someone in life. Oftentimes, God gives us many trials too. And if we stand strong, that builds character and we learn. In the end, I give thanks to God for making me exactly the person I am today. This is a new trial for me. I'm locked inside 4 walls, wondering if I'll go back to the darkness or if I'll see a new sunrise. Thank you all for being here. Thank you. When we gather here, when we speak Shakira's name, we build the sunrise she dreams of. Lastly, we made a GoFundMe campaign to help for Shakira pay for her legal fees. Please consider donating. Y vamos arriba, so tonight.
Thank you both so much for that. Stories like that remind us why we gather out here today, and we appreciate your bravery. Up next, I'm super excited to introduce my New York City Council member and somebody repping us young people in City Hall, Chiose.
No kings! No oligarchy! No kings! No oligarchy! This isn't just a rise in fascism. This isn't just a threat of fascism. Fascism is right here, right now, alive and well. And it didn't just get here overnight. Off of the heels of the civil rights movement, the women's rights movement, the LGBTQ rights movement, there was an organized, strategic effort to usher in this draconian state. The GOP, the Heritage Foundation, the billionaires that fund them, they were intentional and strategic in bringing in this day. And we were caught off guard. We weren't organized. We weren't intentional about protecting our democracy. And I say today, no more of that. No more of being unorganized. No more of not paying attention to the rise in existence of fascism in our streets. We must organize to elect a mayor who will fight Trump on November 4th. That's Zoran Mamdani. We will organize to take the streets today and protest against no kings. And we will organize to take back our house in 2026. We have the power. When we stand together, when we push back against the millions and billions of dollars that are trying to split us apart. When we push and elect a house that fights for us, we will put an end to the rise of fascism here in this country. And I'm not just talking about electing Democrats who are anti-Trump. I'm talking about electing Democrats who are not partners of the oligarchy. I'm talking about electing Democrats who are not tied to the same millionaires and billionaires that brought us to this very day. We need to elect people that won't only push back against Donald Trump, but will show that there's a better alternative possible. And I know that I stand alongside people who will fight alongside me in making sure that we don't only push back and defeat fascism next year and in years to come, but we usher in a better day for all of us here in this democracy. No kings! No oligarchy! No kings! No oligarchy! Thank you.
Thank you so much. Now, we're also out here with a whole lot of union power in New York City. And with that, I introduce our next 3 speakers. Brendan Griffith, the Central Labor Council President. Chris Doles from the Federal Unionist Network, and Nancy Higgins from the New York State Nurses Association.
Good morning, sisters, brothers, and siblings. Can you hear me? When worker rights are under attack, what do we do? When immigrant rights are under attack, what do we do? When civil rights are under attack, what do we do? Thank you very much, sisters, brothers, and siblings. My name is Brendan Griffith, and I am the president of the New York City Central Labor Council, AFL-CIO. We represent more than 300 unions and over 1 million working people across the 5 boroughs of New York City. And working people in New York City know what happens when power stops answering to the people. We see it when corporations cut corners at our expense. We see it when this administration in Washington uses its power to punish and divide instead of to serve. The New York City labor movement is here today because No Kings is more than a slogan. It is a statement of who we are as New Yorkers. This city does not bow to anyone. We believe in shared power, collective strength, and democracy that grows from the ground up. Since the last No Kings in June, the administration has only deepened its attacks across this country. It has targeted immigrant families, it has attacked collective bargaining rights, and it has tried to weaken public programs that workers rely on. It has weaponized the justice system to go after political enemies, including our own Attorney General Tish James, whose courage and commitment to justice has never wavered. And these actions, they hurt communities everywhere, including right here in New York City. The shutdown in Washington, that is the latest example of that abuse by power. This administration and its allies are holding people hostage, throw millions of working people into needless turmoil. Federal employees, including veterans, frontline public servants here in New York City, they keep our airports safe, they protect our food and water, they deliver vital services every day. And now their livelihoods are being disrupted while the cost of living continues to climb. At the same time, this administration is escalating its partisan attack on New York by freezing billions in funding for the Hudson Tunnel Project and the 2nd Avenue subway. And that means tens of thousands of good jobs are put at risk. And it is an intentional assault on our city, our infrastructure, and our communities. But New Yorkers, we know that we have never been afraid to stand up. When nurses fight for safe staffing, when federal workers demand fairness and freedom for political retribution, when immigrant workers organize for dignity, they are fighting for their communities and for the values that bring us together today. The labor movement represents every worker who makes this city move, from subways to schools to hospitals and construction sites. And let us be clear, New York is a union town. Our power is collective, and our solidarity is unbreakable. Authoritarianism, it feeds on fear. But labor builds on courage and on unity. No Kings means no one stands above the people of this city or this nation. It means that working people standing shoulder to shoulder to defend our rights, our democracy, and the future we are building together. Sisters, brothers, and siblings, when I say union, you say power. Union! Power. Union! Power. When I say immigrant, you say power. Immigrant! Power. Immigrant! Power. When I say people, you say power. People! Power. People! Power. People! Power. People! Power. Thank you very much.
Hello, good morning, everyone. I'm a good father. Closer. All right. Do we have any immigrants in the house? Any healthcare workers? My name is Nancy Higgins, and I'm the president of the New York State Nurses Association. We are more than 42,000 strong union nurses from New York, and I am proud to be a nurse, to be a union activist, and join you all today to say no kids. And yes, healthcare. Yes, to caring for all of our communities. Yes to democracy and justice for all. Trump's attack on workers, on our union rights, on healthcare, on immigrants,
and trans folks, some of the most vulnerable people in our society, and on the service that we all rely on, are to speak about. They are dangerous and they are a threat to our democracy. Taking healthcare away from millions of people threatens our health and livelihoods and our own very lives. I am a proud union leader and a proud Haitian immigrant. Do you all hear me? A proud Haitian immigrant. It's time to stand up with our Haitians and our immigrant siblings. That's right. An attack in one is an attack on. I hear you. An attack in one is an attack on all. As a unionist and an immigrant, I can also tell you that we know how to stand up to bullies. We know how to come together in solidarity to take on the bad bosses. We know the kind of bosses I'm talking about. The ones who refuse to pay us. The one who refuse to negotiate, to fire, and the one who wants to fire us and union busting. We know how to fight, and that's right. And when we fight, that's why millions of people are marching today. We have justice on our side, and we will not be divided. We are raising our voices against the police, the billionaires, the bad boss, and the wannabe king. We are showing that democracy looks like. Okay? We are showing what democracy looks like, what a strong and diverse and caring America looks like. And we are here to stay. We are here to stay. Thank you.
My name is Chris Doles, and I'm one of the co-executive directors of the Federal Unionist Network. I'm used to friends, family, strangers having heard of my employer, having worked for 8 years for the federal government. What I'm not used to is everybody knowing its address, because I worked at 26 Federal Plaza at the Army Corps of Engineers, where earlier this year, I couldn't have been prouder of my coworkers in the federal government who stood up when our workplace, when our building, when our government became the site of a constant humanitarian crisis. And that solidarity that grew out of the workplaces of federal workers and federal buildings all over this country has taken hold in the federal workforce all across this country, despite the trauma that this administration seeks to put us in. Today, there are tens of thousands of federal workers joining these demonstrations all over the country, probably hundreds of thousands. And we are here to help tell the story about the effects that they're trying to bring, not to us. This is not about us. As much as I appreciate the sympathies, this is about the public and the public services that we provide. That's what they're after. This current government shutdown shows just in greater relief the sabotage of public services that this administration seeks to bring to all of America. And for the benefit of who? Billionaires and tax cuts, the deregulation of the markets, a general hellscape without health care, without environmental protections, without all the things that regular working people need. But this shutdown is but a preview. If you're worried about the effects of this shutdown, then you should be worried about giving any budget to this administration on Donald Trump's terms. This shutdown is also the showdown we've needed all year long. The pain is real for us as federal workers in this shutdown, but the pain is real for all Americans, and the pain will be permanent if we don't win this shutdown. The American people have shown that they have our back. Credit unions that are extending 0% interest-free loans to federal workers who need it. The unions have our backs. We have mutual aid programs to make sure if you're a federal worker and you're in distress, you will not have to make any hard choices. America has our back, and we have America's back. Today, one of the things we as federal workers will be doing at these demonstrations across the country is renewing the oath that we took when we took federal office. That oath requires us to support and defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. The demands that we take in this shutdown showdown, sure, of course, we must restore the health care that's on the chopping block. But we also must stand up for the division of powers and the right of Congress to decide what money gets spent and stop this administration from impounding funds. This week we've heard finally from the lips of our congressional leaders the demand that rifts will not be tolerated, that no illegal retaliation will be tolerated against federal workers, and now we must start to hear the names of the whistleblowers who have been telling the truth, because their ranks may be small now because of the fear, but the ranks will be greater and greater every month to come. Because to talk about what you do in the federal government today is to blow the whistle on all the laws that this administration is breaking. We stand with all of you, the public federal workers, as one. We need the same resolve in Congress that the federal workers have shown all year long. Hold the line. Hold the line.
Yes, thank you so much. All right, up next we have a real treat, and we have L. Joy Williams, the president of the New York State NAACP.
No Kings! No Kings! I'm L. Joy Williams. I am president of the NAACP New York State Conference, and you will see our members all throughout all of the protests today, because we have a history in this country of standing up against those who believe this country belongs to them and not us. We stand here today not as subjects begging a throne for mercy, but as the people declaring once again, we will not be ruled. This country has always wrestled with its desire for kings, people who want someone to save them or someone who uses fear to maintain power. But democracy does not need kings. It needs us, the people. It needs us to be courageous. These ordinary people who are gathered here today, not just us speaking, but the thousands who will be on the streets this afternoon all across the country as we declare no kings. No kings. No kings. No kings. I want to remind you that there is not one single savior that is going to save us from Trump or his sycophants. It is going to be us, the people. It has always been us, the people, who use our power to build this country. Because Ella Baker taught us, strong people don't need strong, bullied leaders. We already have the power we need. We are using it today, and we will continue to use it not only to change who's in Congress, not only to change who's in the White House, but to change this democracy for the better. No king! No kings! Every time we let fear or fatigue keep us quiet, we surrender ground. Surrender ground that our ancestors bled to make sacred. So today, when we say no kings, we mean no one is above the law, no man is greater than the Constitution, and no title is higher than we, the people. This country belongs to us. This country belongs to us. To the people who get up every day and make it run, the nurses and the teachers, the transit workers, the organizers, the immigrants, and the black people who've been making this democracy more perfect before we even had the food. Democracy is not fragile because people protest. It's fragile when people stop using their voice. So today we march. We organize. Yes, we vote, but we agitate and litigate, not because we hate this country, but because we love it enough to demand that it lives up to its promise. The NAACP has fought many tyrants before, in every era, whether they lived in the White House, whether they lived in a governor's mansion, whether they were generals, whether they were at the NYPD. And every time, it was the people. It was the people. We, the people. So, to Trump, I have no problem saying your name. To the sycophants who rally behind him and put fear, rule this country by fear, and confuse leadership with domination, I want you to hear us clearly today. We the people are not your subjects. We will not be ruled. We the people run this country. We the people run this country. And to everyone gathered today and those who may watch this later, remember that democracy doesn't die in one day. It erodes when we give up, when we keep our voices silent, when we don't hit the streets, when we see something happening to our neighbors and we don't intervene. Democracy dies when we, the people, give up our power. We, the people. 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 We, the people say no king. No king. No king. No king. No king. No king.
Inspiring and invigorating. Thank you so much for being here. Now I'd like to introduce Dred Scott from the Fall of Freedom Artist Group.
Hello. A lot of people have said some really cool things today. The rallying cry has been no kings. I'm seeing wonderful signs like Trump must go now. People have been talking about fascism, which is really good, and so I don't need to repeat all of that. What I do need to say is what artists are doing. It's wonderful that millions and millions of people are actually fighting in the streets today. That is absolutely necessary. When fascists and authoritarians come to power, it is necessary all over the world and in this country for people to stand up and fight back and be in the streets. But we have to be elsewhere too. I'm a visual artist, and I'm working with lots of other artists, musicians, singers, songwriters, playwrights, actors, comedians, and we are all part of Fall of Freedom. Fall of Freedom is going to be on November 21st and November 22nd of this year. Comedy clubs, dance halls, theaters, everywhere that does culture is going to be presenting culture. Because the culture is actually what terrifies the people in power. Much as the people in power are terrified by us in the streets, they are also terrified by comedians like Jimmy Kimmel. They're terrified by the art that's in the Smithsonian, which is why all the art in the Smithsonian now has to be MAGA approved by Trump's White House. We refuse to accept an America where speaking out can get you deported or where our art has to be MAGA approved. That is not what we are going to stand with or stand for. We're going to be the visual and soundtrack of this movement.
That's right.
Okay? We are going to present a hopeful vision of when this regime is gone from power. When this regime is gone from power. And we have to be part of making that happen. One of the things is that on November 21st and 22nd, Fall of Freedom will actually have singers like John Legend, the filmmaker Michael Moore, the playwright Lynn Nottage, the visual artist Robert Longo, the bookstore Epilogue Books in North Carolina, Counterpublic in St. Louis, and in Harlem, the Apollo Theater will all be standing with us, and lots of people will be part of this. But the thing is, this is a movement built by artists and people who love art and culture. So if you write banned books or read banned books, you should take part. If you sing songs about justice or dance to that tune, you should take part. If your art hangs in the National Gallery or in local coffee shops, you should take part. This is open source, much like this demonstration today, where millions will be taking part in the streets. Fall of Freedom is calling on people to take part. Ask your bookstore to read from banned books on November 21st and 22nd. Ask your favorite music club to actually play artists that are talking about fascism and getting free from it. You want to be part of this, and we invite you to be part of this. So, again, go to falloffreedom.com. That's where you could find more. I see somebody writing it down. That's really great. This is cool. Thank you. Because we are new. We are new kids on the block. There are some seasoned people here. But okay, we're getting more loud because the people coming through that are getting loud too. It looks like they have some green vests, and they're going to be helping shepherd the march, which is really cool. So anyway, I just want to say November 21st and 22nd, go where you love culture, and if you make culture, have your culture on display, because authoritarians and fascists love silence, and we are going to be a cacophony. We are going to be loud and visible. We're going to stand up and have solidarity, and that's actually what is going to drive this regime for power. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We're lucky to be joined by all kinds of people, from artists to union leaders. And up next, Representative Yvette Clark.
That was her. So liberty and tyranny cannot live in the same house. It is up to each and every one of us to recognize that the anxiety we feel is real. That anxiety has to be turned into power. And today we demonstrate that power. So today we say no kings. That's not loud enough. Today we say no kings. If Washington, D.C., there is a total breakdown of our democracy. Speaker Johnson has become a wholly owned subsidiary of Donald Trump. He has shut down the House of Representatives, where we do the work for the people. Tyranny and liberty cannot live in the same house. So today we say no kings. Today we say no kings. And we need to make sure that as we proceed through this era, that we teach our children the truth. The propaganda that our adversaries are pushing and shoving down their throats only works to their demise and ours too. So teach the children the truth. Democracy, freedom, liberty cannot live in the same house with tyranny. And so today, each and every one of us will be the soldiers that we need to liberate this nation from Donald Trump and all those who espouse his type of tyranny. To each and every one today, it's my honor to be out here. I am in Washington, D.C. We are showing up, though our Republican colleagues will not. We are there for health care. We are there for our cultural affinity to serve as Americans who make sure that our federal workers will be treated with dignity, that we rebuild and reimagine a civil society that includes everyone from every background, from every race, every religion. Right now, again, this is a power grab that we will not abide with. So to everyone here today, let's go. We are going to take these streets, and if we need to come out every week, we must do so. This is an imperative, folks. What is happening, what we are feeling, what we are experiencing is real. And if we in any way believe that we can slide through this, there are those who say that they are not about politics. But let me tell them today that politics is about them. And what these folks are doing in Washington, D.C. is the power grab for the generations. So each and every one, let us be resolved This is our moment for this generation and future generations to come. No kings. No kings. No kings. No kings. And we will win the victory. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and I am beyond honored to introduce our last speaker for this press conference, the President and CEO of the Leadership Conference on Civil and Human Rights, Maya Wiley.
New Yorkers, are we ready? Have we been ready? Are we gonna stay ready? We are here today because it is this city, it is this state that cannot, will not, and will never bend a knee to any regime that tells us that we do not belong, that any resident of this city does not matter, that our votes don't count, and that lies can rule the day. Let me just say a little bit more. When you heard all of us say no kings, no kings, no kings, what we mean, let's make it plain. Nobody voted to tell somebody to refuse to feed people in a program that Congress said must be fed. Nobody voted for a regime that would refuse to pay attention to government workers that said measles are spreading and children might die. Nobody voted for a regime that said you can be thrown to the ground, handcuffed, taken away because you don't look like a citizen. You don't look like a citizen. What does a citizen look like?
Like me.
What does a citizen look like?
Like me.
Look behind me. What does a citizen look like?
Like me.
Looks like us. What does it mean to have a democracy?
Freedom of speech.
It means freedom. And freedom ain't free, y'all. We have known this for 250 years. Because when this country was founded, it was founded on an ideal of equal opportunity, of equal protection under the law, of a government for the people, by the people. But we know it has never been a promise. It has been a thing that we, the people, have demanded for 250 years. And I say that today because we have a regime trying to tell us that teaching the history of slavery, that's right, cannot happen. We have a regime that is telling us that the fact that teachers want to teach what they believe they should teach is wrong. We have a regime that is telling us that, by the way, the federal government can try to force states to tell them who can vote and who cannot. That is what we are standing up to say, no, you can't, and no, you won't. Because whether you clean a bedpan or clean the streets, whether you teach a child to learn, or whether you simply just show up every day to take care of your family, you have a right to be here, you have a right to be respected, and nobody can tell you that you don't deserve to be treated like a citizen of this country. And I mean citizen in this way. I didn't ask you for a passport. Citizenship is about showing up. Citizenship is about doing for your neighbors. Citizenship is about recognizing that a love of this country means the perpetual right to demand that it do right. and that it do right by all of us. We have seen a young black man in Chicago thrown to the ground, put in handcuffs, while people called out, but he's a citizen. We have seen a woman outside of a school get thrown down and put in handcuffs. As she said, they don't have a warrant. They won't show me a warrant. They had to release her later. And a journalist. This is a journalist, but I'm saying this because these are true stories and they want them to happen here in New York. We won't let that happen because we are citizens of this city, of this state, and of these United States. And all we say to anybody who listens is we're not asking who you voted for, we're asking what you care about. And if you care about your ability to make a demand on government, if you care about your ability to learn, if you care about your right to be who you are, if you care about your ability to organize a union and have your rights respected, if you think you deserve to have a voice, then you should stand with all of us and say, no king, no king, no king, because we are democracy. We are democracy. Whose city? Whose city? Whose state? Whose state? Whose country? Who are citizens of these United States? What does a citizen look like? All of us. All of us. All of us. We are America and we won't let you take her.
And what a beautiful note to end on. Thank you all for being here. This is the end of the official No Kings press conference. But I want to give you one last reminder. Find out what's next. New York City has been directly threatened, and a lot of people here standing together to organize. Go to handsofnyc.com. Scan any of the QRs. To all of the press standing here, we're starting to see people gather. If you want to get a good position for the march, they're gathering up around 47th, but we're going to march down 7th. Thank you again, everyone, and to all of our wonderful speakers. Let's say it one more time. No kings in America. Thank you.